Nossa, é verdade. Deixa eu ver esse bagulho. Eu vi que tem o bagulho da Precision, eu deixei pra ver na live. Pera aí. Deixa eu ver o que que é. League of Legends.
Hey everyone, Safe Locked here.
Vamos lá, por partes. League of Legends, LoL Please, pré-temporada 2022 e o estado do jogo. Vamos ver o futuro, o que o futuro nos aguarda, hein? Vamos ver o que o futuro nos aguarda, o que a Riot está pensando. Será que eles vão, de fato, tirar a Hemodrenário? Acho que seria isso. O próximo que falar que eu tô mutado vai tomar timeout. Porra! Porra, rapaziada, em 2021 você tá falando isso, porra. Porra, rapaziada. Vamos
Hey
lá.
everyone, Safe Locked here on behalf of the league team. We have a
Chatão,
lot to
pô.
cover today, including our plans for preseason, challenges,
Tá,
and game modes.
beleza, beleza.
But first, let's talk.
Vai tomar timeout, João, pra ficar ligeiro. Que aqui é dito e feito, papai. Cadê? Deixa eu dar timeout no João. Ah, mas aí se todo mundo for spamar, eu não vou dar timeout em ninguém que eu tô com preguiça, bota fé. Mas vamos focar no vídeo. Mas primeiro vamos falar sobre o estado do jogo, tá?
About the state of the game.
Beleza, fala pra mim que hemodrenário é o item errado. Primeira coisa que eu quero ver é
Overall,
isso.
we're pretty happy with the state of league this season.
Não, aí não. Aí já começou errado, pô. Se você tá feliz com o estado do LoL nessa temporada, do jeito que tá, com os bonecos fazendo hemodrenário esteira aqui e ninguém morrendo, porra, você tá de sacanagem, tem coisa errada. Eles não podem estar felizes e contentes. Já começou errado.
But before we get into the details, let's dive into a topic that's been pretty popular lately, which is new champion balance. When we
Beleza.
look at the data, we actually see that new
Tipo, os
champions
novos são legais, eu
pretty
gosto.
balanced on release this year, with the exception of Dr. Mundo.
Uhum.
That said, there's more to healthy gameplay than just win rates, and we're still hearing that new champions feel unfair to play against, particularly when it comes to complex abilities or overloaded kits.
Vocês têm, isso é verdade, né? Está um pouco difícil mesmo de enfrentar os campeões novos, né? Digamos que o W da Gwen ser a ult do Shinzal é difícil de balancear mesmo quando vocês pensam num kit assim.
If we're being completely honest, we don't think our champions have overloaded kits overall.
Ela tá piadista, porra. Ela... É piada, galera. É piada. Ela tá de brincadeira. Pera, deixa eu tirar a legenda aqui mais pra cima, pera. Não achamos que nenhum campeão tem um kit extremamente forte. Ela é comediante, é stand-up.
But that being said, there have been times when we've given new champions too many tools
Justo.
and had to pull back later to give them more clear weaknesses.
Tá.
For example, Samira's ability to dash to allies was removed because it provided too much safety. Combined with her missile blocker, it made CCing her too difficult, especially since that's one of her main forms of counterplay.
Tá.
Another thing we consider when we hear a champion feels bad to play against is their intended complexity. We try to make a healthy mix of high, medium, and low complexity champions. In this way, whether you like mechanical skill expression, point and click simplicity, or something in between, there's a new champion that interests you.
Beleza, tá aí tudo certo.
Rex, we wanted to create a champion that was
Ela é fácil de jogar, eu concordo.
to see if she's hitting that mark.
Ela é fácil de jogar, bem fácil.
How complex a champion is to play, there's also how difficult they are to understand. We want new champions to have unique gameplay, but you shouldn't need a wiki to know how to play with or against them. Learning counterplay is a skill test we do think is important, but knowing what a champ can or can't do shouldn't be a part of it. This clarity is something we haven't always hit the mark on, especially with champions like Aphelios, who not only has a complex kit, but was also lacking UI clarity when he was released. Designing new champions is a constant balance between making something that's exciting, has clear counterplay, and isn't confusing. We're still trying to find that line, but we want to get to a spot where new champions aren't just numerically balanced, but that you all feel they're fair to play against.
A Férias eu concordo, né? A Férias foi um boneco que é difícil pra alguém que não joga tanto LoL, ou que não se dedica tanto pro LoL, entender, né? Tipo, é duro, pô. É duro. É complicado você que joga pouco LoL assim, sai uma Férias pra você entender a quantidade de arma, a quantidade de coisa que ele fazia, era bastante coisa.
Beyond new champion releases, this season we've seen a wide variety of picks in every role. We've also seen a healthy improvement in diversity of playstyles across roles, especially in jungle and top lane. Some of this is due to direct champion changes, such as the kit adjustments that enable picks like Jungle Darius, Brand, and Morgana. New items like Anathema's Change and Hullbreaker have also had a positive impact, especially in top lane where we're seeing a ton of champion diversity.
É, esse quebra-cascos eu acho que flopou, né?
Classes have been struggling after the item system update, and we've been working on some solutions to help them out. And this brings us to our plans for preseason.
E lá vem.
With that, I'm going to hand things off to Brightman.
E agora começa a pegadinha de verdade.
Changes.
Aí agora começa de verdade a pegadinha.
Hey everyone.
Salve, salve.
The lead producer of gameplay on League of Legends. League is like a house. Sometimes we need to do a big renovation
calma lá,
to keep it
nem
working
tanto.
well, like when we overhauled the item system. And sometimes we just need to add some new furniture. For this year's preseason, we're sprucing things up with improvements to our existing systems, like items, runes.
Mas mais runa, mais item.
Let's start with our
Já tem 1
plans for
milhão.
items. While some champions and classes
Eita,
have lots of build options, we've still got others that don't feel like they've got a mythic or legendary that really speaks to them. So we're going to be adding some new items.
Mas aí que tá o meu querido Bright Moon, né, que fala, quando tem um item que parece legal, tipo um quebra-passos, né, pra um Darius, pra essas paradas, vocês cortam no meio, pô. Aí é duro, pô, aí é complicado, aí fica o feedback.
And tweaking some others. This will include 2 new mythic items. The first one is a support tank item, perfect for champions that want to get aggressive and charge into the middle of the fight. When you immobilize an enemy champion, all nearby enemies will take increased damage from your team for a short period.
Caralho! Ok, gostei.
The second new mythic item is built for mages, who are looking for a little more survivability. It grants damage reduction that lingers for a few seconds after you get hit. And while the...
Não vou tomar mais IK? Eu não vou tomar mais IK? É isso que eu entendi? Calma.
Second new mythic
Feito para magos que precisam sobreviver mais, tá?
Looking for a little more survivability. It grants damage reduction that lingers for a few seconds after you get hit. And while the
nice, não vou tomar mais IK, velho.
Get ability haste. We think it'll be particularly good for longer range mages who need a mythic that helps them survive a dive.
É um arco escudo pra nós, né? É tipo um arco escudo pra maguinho, pô. Maravilha. Boa, Rat. Boa, velho. Boa, cara.
Esse
muito
pessoal
obrigado,
é tão
muito
piadista
obrigado.
que até
Tava precisando mesmo, tava precisando.
Damage. When we updated League's item system, we wanted to give every champion strategic choices in every game. We still think that's the right goal for Mythics, but our thinking has changed when it comes to legendary items.
E lá aí começa a pegadinha agora.
Build the same legendary in most games if it's a perfect fit. But we also want you to have plenty of options, which is why we're improving legendaries for mages, assassins, and tanks.
E quando vocês começam a bufar assassino é complicado.
Look forward to a new legendary item that gives ability haste. And also refunds a portion of their ultimate's cooldown with enemy takedowns.
Isso é perigoso. Esse negócio de devolver o cooldown da ult já deu errado outras vezes, hein, cara. Esse negócio de diminuir cooldown, Shojin, não sei o que lá. Eu acho perigoso, hein, cara. Acho perigoso, velho.
Tanks that can never get enough mana will be happy with a new legendary item that grants bonus health based on total mana, and also burn some of it to create a shield whenever they immobilize an enemy.
Ué, tinha uma runa que era tipo um pós-choque antigamente. Qual que era o nome daquela runa? Que você dava um CC e subia escudo pra caralho. Alguém lembra? Era tipo pós-choque, mas eu não lembro o nome exato dela. Tipo, Maokai usava, vocês lembram? Colosso? É isso mesmo. Você dava, tipo, flash W de Maokai e subia, porra, barrilzão de shield assim, ó.
Finally, mages who are tired of being denied their hard-earned kills can rejoice. They'll be receiving a new legendary that grants Magic Pen against recently shielded enemies.
Não, eu vou bater palmas, pô. Eu vou bater palmas pra isso aqui, pô. Isso aqui sim! É isso que eu tô falando, pô.
As for runes, we think there are some good targeted changes we need to make.
É isso.
Most of all, we feel the inspiration tree's identity
Corta escudo pra mago.
And we'd like to broaden its keystone use
Ih,
cases.
mano, começou.
For example, we're reworking Glacial Augment to double down on its fantasy of slowing down enemies. We're also making some modifications to Lethal Tempo to lean into its attack speed fantasy and give it a more distinct use case in the precision tree. Up next are bounties. Champion bounties give teams who are behind a way to get back into the game without being a straight shot to victory. And this year, we're adding a second way for teams to try and make it back. Objective bounties will work like champion bounties, except you cash them in by taking map objectives, like towers or Baron. They ramp up slowly when the enemy team lead grows, and the bounty is shared with your whole team, regardless of who claimed it. Taking objectives really is the best way to come back when you're behind, so we want to help make that a clearer and more rewarding strategy.
Assim, eu entendi errado ou é basicamente o seguinte? Agora os comes e bebes, quando você levar um objetivo, você vai ganhar mais recurso a partir disso. Tipo, ainda tem o neutralizado quando você pega um campeão, mas, tipo, você tem que trocar o objetivo quando você tá atrás pra você receber uma recompensa maior e voltar no jogo. É isso? Tipo... Isso. Não sou burro, LOL? Não sou burro, LOL? Tá? Tá, beleza. Gostei. Uma mudança bacana. Aumentar os comes e bebes no objetivo em vez de pegar um abate é bacana. Aumenta mais o macro, né? Tipo, pô, o time ali vai pegar aquela T2 do top, eu vou levar a T1 do bot, entendeu? Bacana, legal.
That said, if a team is really far ahead, objective bounties won't change that. Being the better team should always get you a win. So we'll be watching the new bounty system closely to keep things in check.
Tá?
Finally, let's talk about our biggest addition this preseason.
Caralho, a grande mudança. Ai, papai.
We really like how each dragon creates unique terrain, grants powerful buffs.
Não, mas vai aumentar a quantidade de dragão?
So this preseason, we're adding 2 more.
Aí virou feira, pô. Aí virou bagunça, mano. Mas já tem 4, vai ter 6 dragões, cara.
First is the Hextech Dragon. When your team defeats it, you'll all gain additional ability haste and attack speed.
Ih, caralho.
Claim the soul.
Caralho.
You'll receive a chain slow that works kind of like Static Shiv's passive. When this dragon takes over the rift, it creates Hextech gates that can transport you to set locations across the map.
Não, calma aí. Calma aí, Riot. Como assim? Deixa eu ver se eu entendi direito.
Works kind of like Static Shiv's passive. You claim the soul. Ao
invés de caçar alma, todos ganham efeito de lentidão em cadeia. É tipo o trovãozinho da estática quando você dá um dano ou outra coisa no cara. Tá. Só que além disso, a alma cria portais Hextech. Que porra é essa? Tipo, tu vai pegar um flanco pegando portal, pô? É isso? Não é alma? Ah, não, pera. Isso aqui é quando é o dragão da alma, o mapa fica assim? Não é quando você pega o bagulho? O mapa todo fica assim? Achei que era quando você pegava a alma. Tipo... tá de sacanagem, pô. Porra, aí não. Nossa, que bagunça, que salseiro, velho. Que salseiro, mano. Não, fui burro LOL. Então é o seguinte, a alma... Quando esse dragão Hextech, você pega o bagulhinho da static lá, né? Que dá slow em área. Só que o mapa cria portal. Eu não curti, não. Não curti. Não curti, não. Virou putaria.
Hextech gates that can transport you to set locations across the map. The second dragon joining the party is Hextech's darker sibling, the Chemtech Drake. When you slay it, your team will deal increased damage when your HP is low, letting you turn around those close team fights.
Beleza.
This dragon soul provides a second chance at life. Well, sort of. When you die, you'll enter a zombie state, where you can still cast...
Todo mundo ganha a passiva do Sion? Cara, que...
When you'd normally be looking at a gray screen. And when the Chemtech Dragon putrefies the map, it creates camouflage zones in fixed locations.
Caralho.
Dragons might seem more impactful than
Gostei do mapa.
Well, they are. Our goal is to add more unique encounters.
Você sabe, né? Você sabe o que você tá fazendo. Olha a carinha dele aqui, ó.
And, well, they are.
A carinha dele que sabe que tá fazendo merda, mas ele vai continuar, ele vai colocar a carinha dele assim. Eu sei que é roubado. Mas eu quero que seja roubado, entendeu? A cara dele. Ligeirinho, safado, mané.
Our goal is to add more unique encounters and meaningful strategy to the mid and late game. That said, these are some pretty big changes, and we're ready to adjust if they're making too much or too little of an impact. You can expect to see all of these changes on PBE in a couple of weeks, and
Ai, meu Deus do céu.
In the months ahead.
Esse papinho de que no PBE eles vão testar e vai sair um feedback. Nunca na vida. Sempre passa os bagulho roubado no PBE pro live. Tudo que tá roubado no PBE chega no live roubado. Aí no próximo patch, nerfa tudo. Conheço
Outside
vocês.
of preseason, something we've heard from all of you is that you'd like more ways to express yourself and your achievements in League. For some of you, ranked is how you define your progress. And that's great. We don't want to change that. But for those of you who aren't focused on the rank climb, there aren't great ways to express your own progress. Champion Mastery and Eternals help you show off your skills on a particular
Não ligo pra isso não.
But they don't tell the story of your broader League legacy. The new Challenges system should achieve just that. Challenges rank up over time, showcasing your increasing mastery and legacy across a bunch of different systems, modes, and gameplay, making it a little different than just a standard achievement.
Sim, eu nem comento que eu não ligo.
Not just your rank and champion mastery, but also your inventiveness, breadth of play styles, collection, and everything else in between. Want to showcase your knack for never dying in ARAM? Or how great you are at killing minions in SR in the first 10 minutes? Maybe you've collected over 100 champions.
Porque realmente isso não me pega. Isso não me pega muito não. Eu não ligo.
Your progress with challenges. You'll get the first glimpse of challenges when they hit PBE next month, and the full system will launch early next year. That's all I have to share with you today. Thanks so much for watching. And here's SafeLocked again to talk about game modes.
Modos de jogo.
When it comes to game modes, one thing we've been hearing from you all is that you'd like more variety in the modes we bring back alongside events. So let's talk about it. To start, we actually agree that the existing rotation of game modes can make some of the most popular modes like Earth and One for All feel a bit stale. Some of you have asked why we just don't bring back some of our other older game modes like Star Guardian Invasion or Ascension to mix things up. And the answer is that bringing back old modes isn't as easy as flipping a switch. League is constantly changing, which means all of our existing modes require constant upkeep. For example, when we released Yumi, we had to figure out how she'd function in One for All. What happens when a Yumi attaches to a Yumi who is attached to a Yumi? Because of upkeep like this, we have to be very selective about the modes we maintain. And right now, there are just too few popular modes that feel worth the investment compared to making brand new modes or updating more resonant ones for you. We've mentioned this before, but we think the sweet spot for game modes are ones that amplify champion fantasies and really build on what you love about your champs and Summoner's Rift. So moving forward, we're focusing on adding more game modes that hit this goal. And to that, let's talk about Ultimate Spellbook. First and foremost, you all seem to really love this one. It was one of our highest engagement modes ever, second only to Earth. And beyond popularity, we're super happy with how long you spent making oversized champions with Cho'Gath Salt. And by that we mean the total amount of time you spent in Ultimate Spellbook stayed high throughout the event. That gives us confidence that it's worth keeping.
Legal.
That said, there are some clear areas of feedback that we want to address. Junglers were forced to take Smite and another ultimate, which meant they couldn't choose another summoner spell. They also missed out on a lot of exciting plays during the laning phase because they were stuck clearing camps. Beyond that, we also heard that games started to feel a little repetitive due to the small number of available ultimates. And we agree. So, this winter, we'll be bringing back Ultimate Spellbook with a bigger ult pool. We'll also be making some adjustments for junglers to ensure that your experience in Ultimate Spellbook is just as fun as everyone else's. If you'd like to learn more about our approach to game modes, you can check out the dev blog that's coming out today. That's all we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you're enjoying Worlds as much as we are, and for any pros watching, once again, please pick a Mumu.
Estão tentando, né? Só que tá sendo bait. Tá sendo bait, minha... Como é que é o nome dela, né? Já esqueci, mas tá sendo bait. Estão pegando a Mumu, mas não tá sendo muito legal, não. Estão tentando jogar de Mumu lá, mas a gameplay não tá sendo legal. Mas enfim. O que é a doideira dessa nova temporada, sim, é os dragões. O dragão, esse do portal, confesso que, sei lá, não me encantou, tá? Não me encantou. Não me encantou muito, não, esse negócio aqui de ganhar portal, mano. Não gostei. O outro eu gostei. O Quintec lá eu gostei. Mas esse aqui de portal no mapa, mano. Sei lá. Acho que é meio bosta. Pega tipo o portal do bardo, pô. Dá uma graça. Itens novos, bacana. Vai ter um corta-escudo para P. Vai ter um item pra tomar... Vai ter tipo um arco e escudo pra boneco AP também. Vai ter um item novo de tanque. Legal, legal, legal. Legal, legal, legal. Os portais são grandes ou pequenos? Essa tarolinha aqui, ó. Essa tarolinha aqui, não. Mas vamos saber se vai ser como... Então, é porque eu ainda não sei pra decretar se eu gostei ou não. Mas a primeira impressão minha, não gostei. Mas é isso, pô. É isso.